Good afternoon. I'm here in Houston, Texas. Thank you all for joining. Boy, if you have heard about the icy weather in Texas, it's really not as bad as it should be. Thankfully, I'm in a location where we have power, but our house yesterday lost power. So if you have been contacting us at our law firm this past week, I apologize. Well, thank you for contacting us and apologize for being a tad slower than normal. As soon as we get power, we've been calling and emailing people back. So we're still here to work for you. And um, if you are in an area with extreme weather or just an area where they don't want to give you power, then this is another reason, in addition to immigration, to contact your elected officials, your politicians. They need to get things done for us. Okay, well, this show is about immigration news, of course, right? And I'm going to share my screen in a bit, but basically, boiled down, I will answer your questions as soon as I can. But let me get to announcement first. No, it is not about the PP 10014. It is not about the PP 10052. I know many of y'all have been asking about that because your loved ones, your family members are abroad and waiting for the interview. And we'll talk about that in a second, though, what we can do about those kind of situations. But first, here stateside, the Biden administration is finally moving forward with the immigration plan, their proposal, the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021. Now, there have always been variations of this proposal the past 1 or 2 months that you've heard on my show and probably other immigration attorneys on YouTube. Now, today, they made an announcement, a press conference, not just an article, but a press conference. Senator Menendez from New Jersey and his colleagues in Congress have made an announcement that they're pushing forward. They're going to introduce it. They haven't officially filed it in Congress because I just checked, of course. I wanted to make sure. I wanted to be as truthful as possible. It has not been introduced in the congress.gov website. Okay. Uh, let's see here. Here's our contact information below. If you do have further questions and think you might qualify for the plan, contact us. Fill out our lead form down below, our intake form, and our team, our client advocates, will contact you as soon as possible. The important thing here is that whether or not you think you're eligible, please contact a licensed immigration lawyer, licensed in America. Okay, please do not go to a notary or notario within your own culture, community, ethnic community, because every community has these kind of people that try to get money out of this kind of situation. Of course, you have to pay a lawyer, right? I don't know if nonprofits you have to pay them or not, by the way, but make sure you just get the best advice. Okay, get a second opinion if you need to. We really encourage that. It's like going to okay. So the other representative, House of Representative, that's leading this charge with Senator Menendez is Linda Sanchez, and she is from California. So I will share with you here. They were joined with 10 other colleagues for this announcement. Now, the main thing about this legislation, this proposal, is an 8-year path for citizenship. And this is going to cover at least 11 million people who are undocumented. Now, undocumented means someone who does not have any kind of status. It can also include people who entered America with a visa, but are now overstayed, right? I mean, I know a lot of my clients have overstayed their visa from one reason or another. Okay, it's not going to look. They're not going to look at the reason. Fortunately, in this kind of situation, um, and they want, like we talked about in the show before. They're going to check your background history. Okay, it is not a free pass for people who have certain crimes. They're still going to enforce the law in this respect. Okay, you have to show that you pay taxes. Now, currently, I don't know yet. It's still too early how many years of taxes you need to file. But if you have the means, I recommend getting that started as soon as possible, because imagine this. I know there are a lot of people that work in accounting and are bookkeepers that's another type of professional. You want to make sure you get the right type of professional when it comes to your taxes. Okay, so again, I talked about this in a previous video. If you're filing taxes and you're legally married, do not select head of household. Do not select single. Select one of the two married options, filing jointly or filing separately. It's very important. Okay. So anyway, back to the plan here. Sorry, I just like to share a lot of tips as much as I can. But going to the big plan. So after you file for this application, whenever it's ready, this is still too early. This is just an announcement today, press conference. But after you file, this allows you to get a green card. And then after you have that as permanent status in the U.S., it gives you opportunity to file for citizenship. The law calls it naturalization, so you might see that online or different articles, but it's also, it's citizenship basically. And you can file that after 3 more years. Okay, so that's why they have an 8-year path. And this also, there's a lot of things they're trying to do in this plan. This is not just for people who are currently in the U.S., but also people who have received a removal order from court. So keep that in mind. If you have family members or know people that have some kind of removal order meaning deportation order, they've had to go to immigration court before, and I don't know yet if it allows people that are already in their birth country, but I know there's a lot of people still here in the U.S. living here who do have a removal order. So I know for y'all that are a bit more conservative, it does sound a little bit strange in that respect. If you're looking at the law, that some people could think like, well, this gives a benefit for people who are already removed. I understand that, but there are a lot of people who are actually removed from the country on paper, and they didn't have any crimes, right? So it's not a flat out. It's not a 100% open door allowing people who have certain crimes to get the status. Okay, so I hope that helps a little bit, but it does give you the opportunity. Let me see what I can share here in terms of this plan. I know some of y'all have questions, so I'm going to get to them in a second. But let me share what else is in this plan. Also, people who have been a victim of a crime, you may know this is called like U visa, for example, the letter U. This includes there's a limit of 10,000 U visas per year. Okay, and that's not enough. You look at the number 10,000, you might think that's enough, but unfortunately, there are a lot of bad people in America, and whether they're a citizen, resident, or undocumented, people who are a victim of a crime should have the opportunity and feel more welcome to contact the police, because the police's job is to protect the people who live in America. It doesn't matter what status you have, okay? And U visa is an opportunity for people who are victims to apply. So the Biden administration, Menendez and Linda Sanchez, they want to allocate 30,000 additional visas to the U visa. And to give you an idea, another reason why is because the backlog to get from filing to all the way approval, it's taking at least 5 years, to get approval. So that's why they want to boost the numbers there. Okay. And also, what's going on with Congress in general. They still haven't, they haven't passed the American Rescue Plan for the COVID relief plan, right? And what does that tell us? At least it tells me that, some Republicans are really, really picky. My goodness, this is getting ridiculous. So with that being said, in previous videos and in the live shows, I've talked about what is going to happen, if Congress together, bipartisan, they don't get it together and figure out a plan, at least for COVID. And what that means to me is that I think they haven't mentioned it yet, but I think Democrats are going to try to include the immigration plan with the American Rescue Plan, because when they go through any kind of bill that revolves around budgeting money, so if they go through the budget reconciliatory process, they only need 51 votes. because normally to get through this something called filibuster, basically a lot of debate that kind of can kill a bill, they need 60 votes, which require at least 9 to 10 Republicans. And so far, there hasn't been any indication of which Republicans are on board. Okay. And to give an idea about the Republicans, it's because I've shared on the show again that some of the current bills that have been introduced by Republicans, they are all anti-immigration, as you could probably imagine. Even something to remove birthright citizenship. Okay, so let's see here. So yeah, I think that could be the plan, to attach it together with the COVID relief plan. Of course, they're not gonna mention in the news that quickly, so because they don't want to create any tension that soon. I mean, it's only been a month and a it's really only been a month since January 20th, when President Biden took his oath. So here's another thing I want to share with you. Okay. Okay, so I am going to drop a link in the description below of what article I'm reading right now, and it's from CBS News. There's two articles, one that came out yesterday, 4:30 p.m., and also another one that came out this morning. And so the other thing they're trying, this 66 pages, by the way, of this proposal, this summary legislation, they actually have something on paper, so that's good. They're going to move forward. So it's going to, what I talked about earlier about the initial plan, that there's going to have two tiers, okay? Two pathways, essentially. So the more fast-tracked process, okay, I'm doing this because it's show a little faster here. The little more fast-track process is for people who are farm workers, people who have temporary protected status, include countries from Honduras, Haiti, El Salvador, and a bunch of other countries who have gone through natural disasters or some kind of other disaster, a political disaster. And also people who are dreamers, the DACA recipients, undocumented immigrants who came to the U.S. As children. They're all eligible straight for a visa. And after 3 years of residency, they can apply to become citizens. So it's a very much more fast-track process than announced before, okay? And by the way, when you file an application, they're still going to process for work permit, a temporary work permit, even while your green card application is being processed. That's how they currently do it. Okay. And the other benefit in applying for this, if you're eligible, is that it's kind of like the DACA, where you have deferred action, meaning they're going to put on or taken off a list so that you're not, if you somehow get put in immigration proceedings, court proceedings for deportation or removal, they're going to put your case aside, or they may dismiss your case. We've had myself, my law firm, and a bunch of other law firms as well, were able to get people off and dismissed from immigration court back when President Obama was in office and DACA was first announced. But yeah, so it's going to be the second tier or second pathway for people who are not DACA recipients, don't have TPS, and not farm workers. They're going to be on an 8-year way towards citizenship, okay? So everyone has to go through background check, go through national security check, file your taxes, and of course pay the application fee. And so far, the plan shows that you have to show that you've been here in the U.S. January 1st, 2021, this year. So that's pretty good. As I mentioned in the previous show about DACA, President Obama said you had to show 5 years worth back in 2007, June 2007. So don't ask me how I remember things, but we talk about this stuff every day. We handle these cases all the time. By the way, I know some people have called in from the YouTube channel, and we appreciate that you have questions. Sometimes, especially during this power outage, or we've been having our answering service answer the calls, and so they unfortunately don't know everything about immigration that we're talking about right now. We do help with clients all across the country, U.S., all 50 states of America, 51, of course, one Puerto Rico. They're trying to get statehood, and also across the world, right? We help with clients everywhere. So if you have that question, you're wondering, well, I'm in Ohio or I'm in Florida, we can still help you, okay, in any state. So I appreciate those questions. We're happy to contact, um, happy to help, okay? Let's see what else. There's also, so I mentioned the people who have been deported or removed from the country. They're going to also allow authority to the Department of Homeland Security to issue humanitarian waivers. So it's not a straight, ticket, that someone who has been. So the way to phrase it now is it seems like it can allow people who already went back to the home country outside the U.S. to come back in. Okay, but you have to apply for a waiver. It's not just a one type of application here. So it will cost money. That's for sure. Because waivers right now cost at least $725, $930. It just depends which waiver we're talking about here. But in terms of that, people who have been removed from the country, you have to show that you have been in the U.S. for at least 3 years before your deportation. So what they're trying to say about this, because some people who do apply for asylum or actually maybe not eligible for anything, but were removed from the country, and if let's say you entered January 1st, 2020, because you're processing for your case, you were removed from the country maybe less than 1 year, and so you wouldn't, that person would not qualify for this. You have to show at least 3 years in the U.S. So they're trying to show some leniency, but not like an open door completely, okay? All right, so I just realized I took 17 minutes to explain all this. There was so much information. But I will spare you the time from showing you this article. I will just put a link to it down below, so you're welcome to take a look below after the show. Another thing for people who applied, have applied or are applying for the future, especially those who have a backlog right now for employment-based applications. Okay, we call it EB, PERM, employment-based visas, especially people who are from countries like India, China, Philippines. Those three countries at least have a long wait time for a backlog. Okay, so what they're gonna do is increase the annual allocation of employment-based visas from 140,000 to 170,000. So it's 30,000 more. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but look, it's been like this for decades. So finally, they're making some change, okay? So it should help relieve the backlog. The other thing they're going to increase, so that was the second thing. The third thing they're going to increase in terms of visa allocation is the diversity visa from 55,000 to 80,000. I know some of y'all have asked these questions, what they're going to do about that. It's part of this plan, so it's great. Wonderful to hear. Okay, let's see here. And those who are conservative or just concerned about, the crime and the reasons why people are fleeing Central American countries, this plan also includes inclusion of $1 billion annually between the 2022 year and also 2022 to 2025 to provide money and efforts to reduce violence, poverty, and crime and corruption that has caused the migration of people from Central America to the United States. Will I think it work? Who knows? That's another discussion, but that's not what we're going to talk about today. Okay, that is important to me for sure, and I'm sure it is to you. But right now, we're going to focus on the Biden plan. Okay, so that's about it for that plan. Okay, I'm sure there could be more information coming out, but for now, let's answer some questions. All righty. Oh my goodness, you'll have a lot of questions. Thank you so much. I will get to as many as possible. This show is slotted for 30 minutes. So I got at least 10 minutes. Okay, so if you're just joining the show, the PP10014 and the PP10052 for the visa ban and the travel ban, there's still no news about it. I'm very sorry. I wish I had news on that. I just checked the Department of State website, and there's no news about that. I checked the whitehouse.gov website, nothing about that. And I also checked our AILA, American Immigration Lawyers Association, resources. So, but of course, as you know, just like I want to announce this Biden plan today, um, it's big news. So we want to get the information to you as soon as possible. And we'll do the same when we hear about the PP reversal. Now, do I think realistically will it be reversed? I thought it would be reversed by now. I mentioned that in a previous show that it could happen by mid-February. It is now mid-February. And I know some of y'all had a prediction that he might not do anything because when Trump extended it, it had it until March 31st. And if I'm a betting person, I think now that it could, by now, because it's February 18th, he could just let it stay there until March 31st. Let it stay that way because, and the main reason I think this is because of coronavirus, unfortunately. I think it was a cop-out reason for Trump, but because of the new strain, new COVID strain, whatever the scientific name it is for, that it is, it's definitely a serious concern. And even if that was not a concern, the State Department needs to figure out a logistical plan to schedule people for interviews. Now, consulates and embassies across the world, they are having interviews, okay? We have some clients being processed for interview. It's just they're not opening it all the way up for everyone yet because, again, they have, I am assuming they have short staff, just like it here stateside in America. Because, for example, a lot of you have been asking questions about your receipt notice. If you've been delayed, why it's taking so long. I think, again, they're short staffed because just like any other industry in America, not as many people are able to work because of COVID. Either they're in a hospital or unfortunately they just need to take more precautions. Okay. Now let me get to some other questions. Hey Joel, nice to see you again from Jamaica, my friend. Thank you. My family is safe and healthy despite all the crazy weather in Texas. Creator is Allah. Yes. Well, yes, the Biden news is good. And okay, yeah. So I answered your question, Ismail. I hope I did. Okay, Romeo. Okay, if your asylum case is in front of a judge, can you qualify for the Biden reform plan? It sounds like it's possible because you have to show proof that you've been in the U.S. before January 1st, 2021. It's not being specific and excluding certain people, for example, asylum. Okay, so far so good. Yasmin, yes, so far so good for dreamers. A quicker pathway for you. Okay, if you're a dreamer. Okay, by the way, if you have questions, we do offer 10 free minutes with our client advocate. Okay, you can schedule an appointment down below. But if you want a consultation with me directly, especially if you have something could be more complicated, we hear different kind of fact scenario, fact history, immigration history for really every case is different. So if you have questions, you want to contact me directly. We do charge consultation, honestly, for you to speak with me directly, just because we have a flood of inquiries, flood of consultations. So that's why we have to do that. But we have 15 minutes available, 30 minutes, and 45 minutes. If you think your conversation would take longer, you should select the appropriate one. Okay. Okay, Yasmin. Yep, that's right. Oh my gosh, that's right. Good news. Okay. Stephanie Hillman, I think you've contacted us before. Thanks for watching us. Praying for good news. Yes, trial ban has not ended yet, but we'll get there. Patty Garcia, nice to see you. Teddy Bear, love the name. Yes, thank you very much for your wishes. Keep safe. Master K, what's going on? Yep, just answered that. Again, if you're just now listening to the show, joining us, welcome. And unfortunately, no announcement yet from Biden specifically about the travel and visa ban. Okay, Mitra, what about F2A visa? Unfortunately, no update on that specifically. Okay, but your answer will be related to the PP travel and visa ban. Okay, Mitra. Let's see. Hopefully, I answer your question for now. Jai, nice to see you. Any news for immediate relative U.S.? If you're referring to, specifically the PP proclamation as well, and let's say your spouse is in a different country, that is affected by this travel and visa ban. Let's see. Okay, I'm not going to show every comment because some of them are the same. Okay. Mitra, I see you. I understand. I am not in your mom's position. I'm very sorry. But contact us. Okay. If you're just curious about what's going on with immigration and you'd like to be added to our weekly, we try to send it weekly, but we don't want to spam you but at least if not weekly, every couple weeks to give you direct news that we don't necessarily provide on our YouTube. We just get it to you faster. Um, Oh, and by the way, I apologize. I had a scheduled live show on Tuesday, but again, I'm in Houston, Texas, and it was the worst. A lot of people, more than 1 million people, lost power in just Houston region alone. So thanks for not hitting me on this. Thanks for being patient. Let's see here. Okay, let's see. Thanks for understanding, everyone. Okay. All right. All right, Fong. How about someone come in the U.S. as F1 but is now out of status? Can they apply for TPS if they were in the U.S. for 5 years already? Hi, Fung. If you're talking about someone who, I'm married to Vietnamese American, so I recognize your last name. If you're Vietnamese, and I just assuming if you're talking about yourself, TPS is temporary protected status. That is for people who are born in a country who had a natural disaster. Let's say for like the hurricane in Haiti several years ago, and also in El Salvador many years ago, and also for some kind of political disruption. That's why, for example, the Biden administration just opened it up for Liberia, for example, not under TPS, but something else, DED, which we'll talk about that in a separate video. Okay, so if you're asking, Fung, if you're asking specifically for Vietnam, Vietnam is not part of the TPS. Okay, we'll actually, but if you're talking about someone or yourself from a different country, send us, fill out the link below. Okay, our intake form, and we'll get to you as soon as possible. But in general, regardless of TPS, someone who was entered with the F1 visa, and became out of status, it does appear that under this Biden plan or Menendez and Linda Sanchez plan, U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021, that it can include you so far as long as you have been in the U.S. before January 1st, 2021. Okay, let me get to Stephanie. Embassies. Stephanie, check out the link below, okay, in the description. I believe we do have a link for the visa wait times and also the other websites about the logging in, whether it's for yourself or a family member abroad, to log into that account, especially for a fiance visa. They're not going to send you an email. You have to check the system. Okay, do not assume the government's going to send you an email, especially for fiance visa. You have to log into your account and check at least every week to see what available times there are so you can select it. Okay, hopefully that helps. Okay, Batar, public charge. Thanks for asking. It's still on. Okay, at least for Department of State, I believe the form is 5535. You do not have to fill that out. Okay, or if it's a different number, is anything related to public charge, Department of State wise. If you're abroad, you do not have to fill it out. But in America, if you're filing for something we call affirmative application and you're in the U.S., you do, or adjustment of status, you do have to file the public charge form because it still is valid. Biden's team, they're trying to remove it slowly but surely. They're trying to do it the right way so that there's no other lawsuit by Republicans to try to keep it there. Okay, so I know everyone wants news about getting things done like that because that's what Trump did, right? But as you know, Trump had 4 years of lawsuits and is still continuing to this day. And any lawsuit that's related to Trump, I've noticed that Biden has told the Department of Justice to just not file a brief or just not show up, basically, so that they don't have to argue the case. Okay. So, Batar, I hope that answers your question. All right, Dinesh, you want to know about green card holders, spouse, and children visa. Well, I need to know a little bit more information about your question, but in general, you can still, if you haven't filed yet an I-130 family petition, you still can do that, okay? I know many of y'all are concerned about the receipt notices. You will get it eventually, but if you have a concern, you still have not received the receipt notice, fill out our form below, okay? There is an option. There's an option, what is your immigration goal? How can we help you? There's an option for delayed receipt notice. And, when you fill that out, you do give us permission to share it with our national organization because they want to compile all the different cases that have not received receipt notice because they're continually sharing this issue with USCIS. So we just of course, you won't have the receipt number. So any information you can share, even with like a mailing tracking number, FedEx, UPS, or regular post office, please share that. Okay, Wassam, I know you've been asking some questions. I haven't been able to get back to you. I apologize. You're asking about pending asylum. If you're eligible for the Biden plan proposal, if you've been here before January 1st, 2021, and you've been paying your taxes, you should be eligible. Okay, of course, and no criminal history that could rule you out. Oh, the other thing about for people that do not have a Social Security number and you want to file taxes, it's okay. You need to apply for individual tax ID number. If you Google search it, it's called ITIN. Okay, we're now offering the service where we help you file for your. We have a different vendor that can help apply for your ITIN number. Okay, so that's another opportunity for you to fill out our intake form. Okay, we do have a drop-down list that you can select that if you need an ITIN number, tax ID number that allows you to file your taxes. Okay, because you need to show proof of taxes for you to apply for this Biden plan. But Wassam, I'm just going to assume one question in addition to that. If you have a pending asylum case and you're eligible and want to file for the Biden plan, you can still file for it. Okay, you don't have to withdraw your asylum application, especially if you have a strong case. Okay, you can withdraw it later after you get approved from the Biden plan. And so, friends, if you're new to the channel, by the way, please subscribe down below. Appreciate your love. Click the like button. That lets us know you enjoy our content. I'm sorry that I'm speaking very quickly. I'm just trying to answer as many questions as possible. We're a little over 30 minutes, but let me see if I can answer a couple more questions here. And by the way, if you Sing Vang, I think I'm gonna be able to answer your question here, but there's a lot of y'all friends that your spouse or your fiance has been waiting at the consulate or in their own country for the interview, right? We are now opening up an application for us to represent you if you would like to file a lawsuit against the Department of State. Okay, and what you can do as a first option is to select or fill out our intake form down below. I've been mentioning this a lot. We do have an option for that. Let us know if you're interested at least. You don't have, it's not a full commitment. And we're going to have a conversation after, of course, to make sure you're eligible for it, and so that give you an idea, okay? So Sing Bang, I hope I know that doesn't answer your question directly, but because what we discussed before, the visa and travel ban are still there, intact. It's not been removed. That still will affect your wife being able to. Oh, your wife already had the visa. I'm sorry, your wife already had the interview. Okay, well, this is a Sing Bang. There's even more concern actually, because I just posted a video earlier, I think Monday or last week, about the 221G. Not sure if your wife had that 221G letter, but if either way, check out that video. Okay, it's in our YouTube channel, but also because you a serious concern, because especially if your wife had an interview, they could just be sitting on the case, and I'm not sure how long. Okay, well, your wife is in Laos, but not sure how long she's been waiting since the interview. So let us know, okay, about your wife's case, you and your wife's case in our intake form, okay, Vang? Appreciate it. Okay, let me get to the next person. Oh, thank you so much for the questions. If I'm not able to answer in this show, I will try my best after my consultations today to reply back in the as a comment. Okay, my team and I will contact you. I'm just trying to get to some questions that are not duplicates. Uh, okay, Brian. Brian Cruz, you asked about essential workers. The Biden plan is not specific about essential workers. It would be great, honestly, if they had a third tier, kind of like the vaccine rollout. If they could have a third tier for essential workers, so it could be more fast track. But unfortunately, there's not a separate one. But again, if it's someone who has been in the U.S. regardless of occupation, uh, on and before January 1st, 2021, then and paying taxes, those are the main requirements so far. So that is good. Let me address Naveed. Hi, Naveed. Please don't rip off people in consultation fee. I completely agree. But to be honest, people have to get paid, right? The main concern is we want to provide the accurate advice, and unfortunately, some people that have I think honestly, my consultation fee is very reasonable. Okay, if you think mine is not good, then you're welcome to go to another lawyer. But I think we provide really good customer service and get you as much information as possible, accurately and on time. So, but thank you for your comment. And honestly, if people provide only free advice, I've heard bad things about that. I mean, not every lawyer is doing bad things when they do that, but honestly, you should be careful of that. Because then if I'm only giving free advice only on a consultation, then am I actually doing work? That's why sometimes I can't get to the live show or provide as many videos as I would like. Sometimes I actually have to do work. So let's see. But thank you for your concern, of course. Okay, and that's why we provide actually 15-minute, 30-minute, 45-minute. They all have different prices. Really depends on everyone's budget. But usually I try to, just like this video, I try to spit out the news information as quickly as possible. Okay, Santos, can I explain the lawful children and spouse waiver? Okay, I think you're talking about the 601A. That's for someone who has been in the U.S. for 1 year or more and have a family member. But it's for this type of 601A, you have to have a spouse. Unfortunately, you cannot use your children. If you have a U.S. citizen or resident children, you cannot use them as a qualifying relative for the 601A. But you can, the qualifying relative can include your parents or spouse who are U.S. citizens or lawful permanent residents. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question. That's very quick. I mean, there's a lot more I can say. I do have a video about waivers in our channel, so check that out in the previous history. Okay, I'm hitting the 40-minute mark, so I can only answer a couple more questions. Again, if you're new to our channel, we appreciate you watching. Please subscribe down below, okay? And please tap the like button. We really appreciate it. That will tell us that you like our format. Okay, who else can I answer? A lot of y'all are asking about interviews. It's the same news about the peace proclamation still has not been removed, but embassies and consulates are open for the most part. I can't say specifically for your location, um, but even if it says 999 days on the chart, visa wait time, the website's down below, the link, uh, it still is open. They're just taking it very slowly because of their personnel, is what I'm thinking. Julio, let's see here. Can I tell you how to get your naturalization certificate? You lost yours. You need to get a passport and take a trip urgent. How's the fast way? Okay, if you absolutely know that you are a citizen, you don't necessarily have to have a naturalization certificate. It's of course good to apply for. The form is N600. It does cost at least $600 to $700 government fee. But if you absolutely know you already have you can go ahead and file it for now. But it will take at least 5 6 months. They're just so slow. Something like this should be quick, right? You would think. But if you absolutely know you're a citizen, and then you just go ahead and go to the passport office, okay, and apply there. I'm not sure if they let you apply online, but I know there's many instructions online. But usually post office, you can apply there, or some of the Justice of Peace Court. At least in Texas, it's called Justice of Peace Court. It's like the lower level court, basically. So hopefully it helps, because I think that's the best way online. If you go to the State Department website and just Google search or Bing search U.S. passport application expedited, that's the fast way. You just have to pay a little bit more. I think it could be $100 $200 more. You have to mail in your passport. No, from what I remember, they're supposed to mail it back to you eventually. So hopefully that helps, Julio. Okay. Oh shoot, I want to stay longer, but my battery's running low here on my Surface Pro. Thanks for bearing with me. Let's see here, my new location. Hi, Chan Okafor. You came to America before 16, but recently lost your status. And sounds like overstay, and you don't qualify for DACA. Would you qualify for automatic green card? I don't want to call it automatic, because you still have to apply. There's no such thing as an automatic green card. But if you mean like straight to a green card, it sounds like, because you don't have DACA, you don't have TPS, you're assuming you're not a farm worker, then so far you don't qualify for this fast track to citizenship. Okay, but you could be eligible for the other tier. Okay, I get a lot of questions about backlogs. Okay, if you already filed your application and you've checked the processing time, you want to make sure that the processing time, that the cutoff inquiry, there's a cutoff inquiry date. This is something that Trump administration put in so it can control the flow of inquiries. If your receipt date is before the cutoff date, inquiry date, then you can submit an inquiry online. That's the fastest way if you just want information about your case. All right. But they'll email you, and they'll just say wait another 30 days or 60 days, and they might not have information. But look, hey, if you had your interview, by the way, we're filing lawsuits on behalf of clients. If you have we love to do that, because hey, at the end of the day, it may not get you approved, but you will get some decision, because we have some clients that have been waiting 2 years, 3 years after the interview. Okay, we're talking about after the interview. So we call this a mandamus lawsuit. If you've been waiting a long time, we'll let you know if it's a long time or not. Okay, so just click the link below. Click the link below for an intake form. Please fill it out. We will verify for you to see if we can help. But in that kind of situation, you do need to submit inquiries, because we want to show proof that you've tried to follow up on your case. Okay, Jennifer Reeves, thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel, please. You may have missed what I said about Biden. Your status is pending, but it's been 5 months. I'm not sure what application you filed, but if it's an adjustment with I-485, it's likely going to take more than more than 12 months on average. Okay. So hopefully it helps. But in terms of Biden plan, you need to. Sorry, I was looking at my phone because I have to go soon for a consultation. And start working. Okay, working for you, my friends. In terms of Biden plan, you have to show so far. I'm hiding my face here. Um, Show so far that you have lived in the U.S. for more since January 1st, 2021, and before. Okay, I know many of y'all are still waiting for your answers to be questions to be answered, so I'm trying to get to them. Mambet Messi, what options would people with old deportation or your spouse recently approved on asylum? Wonderful, congratulations on that. Congratulations to your spouse. There is a form that we can submit for you if you would like to get included with asylum, uh, whether or not you're in the U.S. or abroad. Okay, so let us know. Fill out the link below, and we'll get you taken care of. Because it's great that you're congratulations to your spouse. But in terms of old deportation order, um, under the Biden plan, you will benefit under that. So because it sounds like you've been in the U.S. For I'm assuming you have to show that you've been in the U.S. for at least 3 years. Okay. Let's see what else. Okay. Eutheria. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Mexi. F2B visa. Your parents have green card and you live in the U.S. as F1. How long would F2 visa last? Okay, so we should have we might have the visa bulletin. If you Google search visa bulletin, check the processing time on that, on which case. If when it shows let's say like 15 July 15, the last number means the year. So if it says July 2015, you want to check that out. Your category and which country you're from, you were born in. Okay. Hopefully that helps. But if y'all have specific questions, more about your case specifically, please schedule a consultation. Okay, down below, and we'll let you know. We'll be upfront with you if we can help you or not. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Amna Amir, what about spouse interview? Spouse interview, if you're talking about abroad, okay, and you haven't had the interview yet, then this is one of the services we're providing to file a lawsuit to the government because, oh, shoot, I meant to share this. Okay. Let me share my screen because I want to show you what's going on with this other lawsuit with Milligan versus Pompeo. I know I see a question about how much we charge. It really depends on a case, okay? And every case is different, and especially for some of y'all that have the let me separate the screen out. Okay. Okay, some of y'all that have different facts or have been removed for you, so that's why it's just different for everyone. Okay, let me get out of this thing. Okay, let me share. Okay, hopefully this will work now. Again, if I'm not able to answer your question in this specific video, I will try to answer it after my consultations for the day, okay? All right, here we go. Okay, this is what I want to show you. This is why we're helping folks with the okay, here we go. Oh, where do we go? Put it back. Okay, so the people who are subject to this case, the Milligan versus Pompeo. So there's probably over 100 people that this other law firm has helped. we are trying to help people. We want to file another lawsuit on behalf of people in this kind of situation. You're waiting for a K-1 visa or even for spouse interview abroad, okay, at the consulate or embassy abroad. Hopefully you can see it looks pretty large there. What it says here is that you have to contact your nearest embassy or consulate, okay, and then to schedule an interview. Now, they do have, subject to the court order, they will try to schedule you, but also subject to the COVID-19 protocols in that specific country, in that consulate or embassy. It does say court order does not require that plaintiffs be given a special priority. However, who have requested interviews or who have already been scheduled for interviews, even if issued visas, K-1 plaintiff applicants remain subject to the geographic proclamations. So although it doesn't say special, although it does say don't not be given special priority, look, it says here at the end of the day that contact them to schedule an interview. So in a sense, they are giving you some kind of priority. They just call it don't not give you special priority, meaning in my mind, that's me thinking like tomorrow, okay? But this is what I'm talking about. This lawsuit right here is only for people who are filed under the Milligan versus Pompeo. So if you're not part of the lawsuit, you don't get any kind of priority. Sure, you can email them, you can contact them, but they're not going to prioritize your case for an interview. That's what I mean. It's recommended you file a lawsuit, especially now they've been waiting for Trump. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. I don't want to say that guy's name anymore, especially waiting for President Biden to try to reverse the travel and visa ban. Okay. So that's pretty much it. This is on the travel.state.gov website. Okay. Okay, and it also says here, if you are not part of this case, Milligan versus Pompeo, which if you're watching this show, you're probably not part of this case, and you're subject to any of those COVID-related proclamations or the geographic locations, it's on this website here. It says that they're not going to process your application for an interview. They're not going to schedule you unless the beneficiary of the applicant is eligible for a national interest exception, which is very limited exceptions, okay? And that's really basically if you qualify for helping out the workforce for health concerns in America. Okay, so that's why if you're interested, fill out our intake form below if you're interested in a lawsuit or any other services. Let me stop sharing the screen. Okay, so if I haven't answered your questions, there's a lot of y'all. I will try to. But if it's more specific and you're wondering if you are... Oh, shoot. Okay, so I think I'm going to lose power here pretty soon because I have low signal on internet. So I will go ahead and just close it out. I want to thank everyone for watching. If you have questions that are more specific about your case, please fill out intake form and schedule a consultation and get you scheduled, because we get a lot of inquiries and it's just going to take a little longer for us to get to you if you don't schedule anything. So I really recommend scheduling a consultation, and we'll get to you as soon as we can. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. And stay safe, everyone. Stay warm. Take care now. Bye-bye.